2002, there's a look inside Ford Field here in downtown Detroit, the Motor City. Happy to be on hand. I'm Brandon Gaudin with Charles Davis. And before we kick, partner, your keys to the game, please.
Well, my keys are on the defensive side of the ball for both teams. And the big one, making sure you avoid giving up the big play. These safeties are going to get tested all game long. Their job, keep the ball in front of them, tackle people, make them run extra plays in order to try and score.
The kicker, Jake Bates, has this one on the tee. He'll run up and send this one away here at Ford Field. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. And now it looks like he's in some discomfort after being tackled at the end of that return. Well, hopefully, obviously nothing serious here. Medical staff, though, going to take a peek, and we'll take a break. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Off of play action, Tagovailoa. And he'll complete this one to Berrios. And he gets this up to the 34 out of bounds there. Give him 3 there on the first play of the game, and it's 2nd down. Now Tua. He'll get this to his tight end. It's Jonnu Smith. 7 yards there and a 1st down.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
Tua going to tap this forward on the jet sweep. Afitu Melifonwu up to make the tackle there. A nice play design there with the touch pass. Looked good at the start, but bottom line, the defense was ready.
And they did a nice job scouting, didn't they? Not just scouting, but now executing once they saw the play for real after having worked on it all week in practice. They drilled on the play, then they drilled him.
In motion left goes a tight end. On the ground, this is Devon Achane. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, and that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
That is caught. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. That's good for a 1st down, his 2nd catch of the opening drive. Really a solid start here on the opening drive, Charles. He's now 4 of 4, and they're already in plus territory.
Brandon, he's been so precise to start this game, like we're watching an operation taking place right now. Master surgeon at work.
Going to the air, Tagovailoa. That one caught by Tyreek Hill. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down. And the pocket's been protected pretty good here so far on the opening drive.
We always talk about confidence in runners and catchers and quarterbacks. How about the protection detail? They're not allowing anyone near the guy throwing the football.
In motion, Hill. Now a play fake. Here's Tagovailoa. This will be caught. It's Waddle. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. Give him 32 on the play.
Brandon, we've both been around the game long enough that we know that in pregame, defenses are pretty amped up, aren't they? I mean, they're pounding lockers, and they can't wait to get out there. But when you hit them with some big pass plays early, it takes the starch right out of them.
First and goal, a chance for an early statement here on the road. Mostert going to be hit and met at the line of scrimmage. They get him down at the 3. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up second and goal.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
They'll go again from the 3 here on second and goal. Achane is into the end zone. Touchdown, Miami. They got to love that. 9-play drive results in 6 points.
That means they're doing the dictating. That means that they've described how the game's going to go. They're playing at their tempo, at their pace. If you're on the other side of the ball, if you're playing defense, defense is not methodical. They've got to go in there and shake things up and create a little havoc.
Jason Sanders now for the extra point. And that makes it 7-0 Dolphins. That time a 9-play drive. And the drive finished off with a touchdown run from Devon Achane. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. Well, a dangerous return man showing it here. And a good return, able to get out across the 35 to the 36. So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. They're led onto the field by the former Cal Bear and the #1 overall pick in 2016, Jared Goff.
And at one point, the ascension of Jared Goff was really, really strong. Back-to-back Pro Bowls, took his team to the Super Bowl and came really within 1 quarter of winning it. But since that time, he's had bouts of inconsistency, and that's been the struggle for him as he tries to get back to the form he showed earlier in his career.
They'll bring a tight end in motion left. Play action. It's Goff. That's caught. It's Sam Laporta. And he'll go out near midfield at the 49. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first. We'll see what kind of mindset they have here offensively after giving up the touchdown on the opening drive.
And based on our time with them, prior to this game, I feel like they've got a good mindset going in. In fact, the discussion that we had with the coaching staff was, we may give up some points in this game, so our offense has to be ready each and every time to either equal or try and get us ahead and try and keep us ahead. This is their chance to respond to that first touchdown given up. I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days. But you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
And St. Brown going to have the Lions first down as he'll get this down to the 41.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
They'll bring one of the tight ends in motion left. They will run for the first time with David Montgomery. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. Defensively, though, they had a chance there to hit him for a loss. Couldn't get it done.
Looked like someone was able to knife into the backfield, but he wasn't able to get him down. But his compatriots, they were able to grab him at the line of scrimmage and not let him get any further downfield.
Here's Goff. That throw taken in by Jamison Williams. And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 24-yard line. That one good for 16 as the drive continues.
Boy, everything clicking on this drive. He's 4 for 4 now, and that throw, maybe the best of the bunch. This offense is really humming, and they pick up another first down.
First down, here's the run with Montgomery. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball on this drive and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
They'll fake the give. Now Goff.
Across the middle, he's got it complete to St. Brown.
And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
It's all pretty simple sometimes, isn't it? Go where the defenders are not, and he does exactly that. Makes a nice catch to move the chains. Defense, got to find a better way of accounting for the shorter routes that are being run against them.
Montgomery is into the end zone. Touchdown, Lions. A strong, determined run there, Charles, to get in for 6 points.
This is why it's such a team game, isn't it? And I know it sounds really generic and it sounds almost trite, but the blocks were made up front, offensive line, collective victory at the line of scrimmage and downfield. And how about the finish to the run all the way into the end zone?
No going for 2. They'll kick the point after. It's up and good. So these teams match touchdowns here in the first quarter, and we're tied 7-7. So that drive takes them down the field in 8 plays. And it was David Montgomery's touchdown run that polished it all off. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away.
And he'll be stopped up at the 25.
So Miami coming out for their second drive.
This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out. Looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
On play action, here's Tua. And he'll get this into the hands of Hill, complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That's a good way to start the drive. 17 yards and a first down.
I know this may be jumping the gun a little bit, but 7-7, they're flinging it around like crazy. Look at the drive that's going on here. Partner, we may have to start thinking about one of these defenses just holding someone to a field goal and maybe trying to get an advantage that way.
He'll get it once more into the hands of Hill. Only able to gain a couple there, and it's second down. I think defensively you're okay with that. You're in the first quarter. He's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
And Hill is going to have a Dolphins first down as he'll get this down to the 47-yard line.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it.
And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes.
Flying in for that sack, Aiden Hutchinson.
And they weren't in zone coverage. They were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. And the tight end goes in motion left. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down.
Now that's a play to applaud because these RPOs, things happen so quickly, and that ball's out of the quarterback's hands fast. He read it and reacted and was there to hit him as the ball arrived at the receiver. Big-time read, big-time play.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw.
The pressure gets there, and Tua is going to be taken down. Aiden Hutchinson.
Now 2 sacks for him already here in this first quarter of play. They were trying to set up that screen, trying to get that screen to formulate. Took too long.
He ends up taking a sack, and that leads you to a couple of other questions. Number one, why don't you just get rid of the football near the screen guy so that you don't take an interception? But really the big one, they just took everything away, and he was really kind of flummoxed on that play and ended up taking the sack.
Jake Bailey on now to punt here on 4th down.
Back deep, Khalif Raymond. It's a 39-yard punt, 3 on the return, and the Lions will take over.
Back onto the field come the Lions for their 2nd overall drive. A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And, partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now, but let's give credit where it's due because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart pass by pass. Obviously, they need to make some adjustments there on the back end.
And because offensively, we know that they're not going to be shy about throwing that football.
That's good. The completion there for 7 yards, and that'll make it 2nd down. Goff now to throw.
Over the middle and taken in by Laporta.
A busy first quarter. His 3rd catch of the afternoon is a 1st down.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Pick up a 1st down.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Up the middle, it's Montgomery. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage.
Bradley Chubb there on the tackle. When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot, he had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
And again, he's going to be stopped up right at the line of scrimmage. Officially nothing on that one, no gain, so they're left with still 10 to go on 3rd down.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
From the gun on 3rd down, Goff. Now that'll be caught by St. Brown.
And he is going to have a Lions 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
I don't care how many times we say it, I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. 1st down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
So now 1st and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory at the 49-yard line. A shotgun snap for Goff. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
Oh, nice defensive effort there, providing the hit as the ball got to the receiver, separates him from the catch, and normally he's a sure-handed target.
2nd and 10.
Here's Goff. It's Williams on the catch. And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 38-yard line. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
And the throw and the catch were just fine, but against zone coverage when you run a drag route, what you're hoping for is he makes the catch and makes someone miss, and they don't there. Very difficult route to run when everyone has their eyes back towards the quarterback and they're able to see the route develop.
And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
In motion goes the tight end. Now a play fake, and it's Goff.
He's got this to Williams, complete.
And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. A really good pickup of 28 yards.
And coming into this ball game, this was an offense that wasn't just talking about the notion of ball control. They were preaching it. They want to win the time of possession battle, and they've done so here. This drive's taken up quite a bit of the first quarter. Now they are set up first and goal.
In motion left here, one of their tight ends. Now Goff.
And that is knocked away in the middle of the field and incomplete.
I know we spent a lot of time talking about how the defensive backs read routes and make plays on the football. How about a good linebacker? Feeling the route, seeing the quarterback, jumps the play, and knocks it away. Really well done.
Nothing on first down, so the ball remains at the 8-yard line, second and goal.
Gibbs straight ahead.
And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. He lost 4 there, and it's third down.
All right, quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers playing with their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the second and the third level. I think that was a good job there defensively. They did allow them to drive all the way downfield, but once they got their backs to the goal line, they really turned up the pressure.
Yeah, they let them get all the way down here. Now the field shrinks. They've struggled to convert, and that last incompletion brings up fourth.
Bates' kick is good.
And they take the lead here now at 10-7.
So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number 1. Field goal you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away.
And out a little across the 25 to the 27.
Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over.
The last series for them, a little disappointing, forced to punt. And now they'll try to do better here and come away with some points as they begin this drive, 1st and 10. Tagovailoa and the Dolphins come up 1st and 10.
At their own 27. They'll send a receiver in motion to the right. Here's Tua.
Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete.
You still hold your breath where there's a defense when Tua gets out of the pocket. You're worried about him scrambling and getting a first down. But there, he made the wise call. If there's nothing downfield, just throw it away.
Here's 2nd and 10.
They fake the handoff. Now Tua.
Well, the pressure gets there, and Tua is going to be taken down. Aiden Hutchinson.
What a start to this ball game. Still in the first quarter, and he now has 3 sacks, on pace for double digits. And that is the 3rd sack this offensive line has allowed in this first quarter.
Yeah, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game. I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center. 2 are going to throw. Short throw to Smith. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. That was no 3rd and 2. That was 3rd and 16, but they get the conversion anyway.
You don't always expect tight ends to be big in terms of run after the catch, but after that play, he joins a growing band of players that's putting that stereotype right on its ear.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Off of play action, Tagovailoa. He's got a man, it's his fullback. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and that's going to bring up 2nd down.
It's pretty easy to overlook the fullback when you're making your assignments defensively in the pass coverage game, but in this case, they made him pay for that oversight and picks up a nice gain.
2nd down and 4. Up the middle, Achane.
Pushing forward for 3 up to the 48. (10-7) our score after 1 right here on EA Sports. It's Dolphins football here as we begin the 2nd quarter, as they've got it with a 3rd down and less than a yard. They'll motion the tight end across the formation.
They'll run for it with Achane.
And he will have the 1st down as he's brought down up near midfield.
Brandon, what were they thinking on defense there? They looked like they were playing for the pass. That was 3rd and short. Yeah, it was an easy pickup because they handed it to him. That was way too easy.
Just looked like absolute confusion defensively. Not sure why they were in that set.
Yeah, I'd say you ought to have a few men in the box there.
Tagovailoa working out of the gun. Short throw to Smith. And that's good for a gain of 6, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
And his throw here is incomplete.
The quarterback got away with one there. Looked like he was in line for a pick, but instead, it's knocked harmlessly to the turf.
This offense has converted 2 third downs on this drive already. This is 3rd and 4. From the gun, it's Tua. And he will have 1st down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. 5 yards on the scramble, and that's enough to pick up the 1st.
No surprise to see his sideline fired up by that big play. Heck, we're fired up, and we're supposed to be neutral. That's a quarterback putting his body on the line to fight and just barely get the 1st down. When he does something like that, it gets everyone ready to lay it all out there and try and match his intensity.
And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down.
I have a feeling they'll stay committed to running the football, especially on the early downs. They just haven't had a whole lot of success just yet.
So maybe just a momentary setback on what's been a great drive so far, but 2nd and 13 here. Now Tua. Throw left side complete. That's Hill. And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. The catch and run, good for 24 yards.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
Now Achane on 1st and 10.
And he'll get this one down to about the 17. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
The passing game's been working quite well so far, but the running game's been a little bit of a struggle, and that's a surprise to me. Typically, when you can throw it, you've opened up lanes for your runners.
So from the 17, here's 2nd and 7.
Play action. Now it's Tua. He's going to be sacked. Back at the 23-yard line.
That time, multiple defenders getting pressure, and it's a loss of 6. So that now 4 first-half sacks. This pass rush has been unrelenting.
And, partner, you hear that sound of paper being ripped to shreds? That's the game plan that they've had so far because they've got to say to themselves right now, we have to do something differently.
So now after the sack, Tua and the Dolphins staring at a 3rd and long.
Going to the air, Tagovailoa. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Well, how about the coverage we just saw break out on 3rd down? Dime defense, blanketed the field with extra defensive backs and speed, unable to find an open hole to complete that pass.
So 4th down, Tua departs, and on is Jason Sanders and the Dolphin field goal unit.
Sanders' kick is good, and that will knot us up at 10. Well, that will go down as a 15-play drive, and it results in 3 points. So some disappointment?
It's funny. We had our conference before the game with the offensive coordinator, and what did he tell us? I just want every drive to end in a kick, right? An extra point, a punt, or a field goal. Well, in this case, I think it is a little bit of a disappointment because it did end in a kick, but that type of a drive should end in the end zone.
All level now at 10 apiece as the kick's away.
And a decent return out to the 27-yard line.
So out now come the Lions. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Goff and this Lions offense set for a 1st and 10.
At their own 27. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive.
Throw over the middle. He finds Williams.
And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
And his play caller does a nice job of giving him an easy throw to start this drive, and he takes advantage of it. The completion sets up a manageable 2nd down.
2 yards to go, 2nd down.
Goff now looks to throw. Finding Williams once more, complete. Over 70 yards receiving now for him in his first half alone, as he's got a 1st down on that last catch.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on 1st down. They'll try the middle with Montgomery. And he'll manage to pick up about 4 at 2nd down.
And hold on here, because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up. The medical staff will attend to him, and we will step aside. Now a 2nd and 6.
Again, they'll go ground with Montgomery. And he's down right around midfield after a gain of 2, maybe 3.
So if you've been playing defense in this one, there's a little bit of the good and some bad, because they did give up the touchdown run to him earlier, but shut him down otherwise.
Outside of that, you're exactly right. I would say they've contained him very well. Here's 3rd and 3.
From the 50, it's Goff.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have the Lions first down by a couple of yards as they're able to convert here on 3rd and 3.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play, and that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
So the completion good for 6 yards, and it'll be 2nd down.
And I think as he began this throw, you saw that the area was congested, but he has a lot of confidence in his arm, and he fits that one in there nicely. They pick up the catch, not much yardage afterwards.
Here now, 2nd and 4.
Goff now looking to throw. Got a man over the middle. It's Williams. He's up now to 80 yards receiving in the ball game, and he's got a first down.
In so many ways, throwing the hitch route is actually one of the safer things an offense can do. Get the ball out to the receiver as fast as possible, hope he's got man-to-man coverage, and hope that his athleticism wins on the perimeter.
Now it's Goff. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Montgomery.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it could turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
Ball on the 27. Here's a 2nd and 8.
To the air again. Goff. Over the middle, and it's incomplete.
You've always been very good about checking my math. Am I correct? That's the first time that it's been incomplete when they've thrown it to him?
Yes, he had caught every other ball coming his way.
So they feel like they've got something really good going there, and they're going to continue to go there until the defense makes an adjustment and takes it away.
Well, they finally made an adjustment there. We'll see if they can build on that stop.
And they'll send the tight end in motion here. To throw is Goff.
That's to the sideline and incomplete.
The Dolphins do the job defensively there, and now it brings up 4th.
And based on my math, they've only converted 1 time thus far in this game, so you can see the frustration starting to come out a little bit. 3rd downs, they've been a problem for them all game. They've got to start becoming solutions.
Bates' kick is good.
And they will take the lead at 13-10.
Well, in a close game like this, obviously you want the touchdown, but certainly they will take the 3.
And they'll be okay with that, but let's throw a little credit to the defense as well. I'm just glad this doesn't come down to a debate, right? Which side won, partner? Because the defense, hey, we didn't give up a touchdown. The offense, hey, we put 3 on the board. Either way you look at it, I think both sides gained something out of that drive.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes.
And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line.
The Dolphins' offense now heads back on the field. And a methodical drive last time, but they couldn't get that knockout blow. They had to settle for 3.
But you got to like what they've been doing along the way, right? It's almost like the body blows, the setup punch. As you said, they didn't get the knockout blow here, but that doesn't mean it can't come later in the game on another possession. And the defense on the other side,
maybe a little gassed,
yeah,
right?
A little tired. And if nothing else, they just feel relieved getting upfield only giving up 3. They don't exactly feel like they've handled the offense.
Throwing now is Tagovailoa.
That's going to be caught by Waddle.
And they'll wind up getting this to the 37. Gain of 9.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
On play action, here's Tua. They'll swing this out wide. Here's Achane.
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. A 10-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Dolphins first down.
Well, that was a pretty favorable situation there. What would you call that? Second and manageable? Smart play, too. Didn't force it downfield when he didn't have it. Just checked it down, let him get the first down, and that's exactly what he did.
Tua sets up to pass it. They complete it to Hill. They'll go for a gain of 7, and that will bring up second down.
Simple drag route here, lined up out left and tried to work his way back across the field. You probably saw me twitch there, partner, because I think he wanted the ball a little bit sooner. By the time he looked it in, defender was right on him.
From the 46, here's 2nd and 3.
Here's Tagovailoa to throw. It's caught on the right side at Smith. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Catch number 4 for him on the afternoon, and it'll give him a first down.
He's certainly done a nice job spreading the field on this drive, and here he finds his big tight end for good yardage. And that's what you have to do. Keep defenses guessing about where you're going to go with the football.
Looking to pass. Tua. Over the middle, complete. It's Hill. He'll be brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
Finding Waddle crossing the field and bringing it in.
And he's down into the red zone at the 15 after a gain of 15. 1st and 10.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10.
In motion, the tight end. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. Braxton Berrios, a 15-yard touchdown grab.
And the Dolphins are once again back in front. A nice connection there, finding his target, and that'll put 6 up on the board.
Just like they drew it up in their playbook and reiterated it on the sidelines, right? Perfect route, a good throw, and the defense, they had no answer for that right there.
Sanders on for the extra point. And that will make this a 4-point game. So this drive spans 7 plays, and it ends with a touchdown for the Dolphins. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders.
And he returns this to the 22. Detroit's offense ready to take over.
And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6.
Drive starts with a run from Gibbs. And not much doing there. Maybe a yard up to the 23.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here. And if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, Get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
And they'll send the tight end in motion. They'll fake the handoff. Now Goff.
Across the middle, he's got it complete to St. Brown. Goff to St. Brown for the Detroit first down.
If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
They'll fake the give. Now Goff.
And that one too wide and incomplete.
Well, no one likes to see that drop, but I'll guarantee it's not going to stop his quarterback from going back to him anytime he has open space.
Now a 2nd and 10.
Here's Goff. The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down.
Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
There's a little bit of defense right there. Nickel set, 5 defensive backs. They just snuffed out every route that was going. Quarterback never got rid of the football.
So now following the sack, Goff and the Lions needing to come up with something here on 3rd and long.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw.
Setting up the screen, this is Gibbs.
And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there.
That one good for only 6, and it leaves him with a 4th down.
And that's a play that's not uncommon on 3rd and long, because the offense is just hoping that somehow they can get a guy in space and follow some blockers downfield. Does a pretty nice job there getting a few yards, but he ends up getting stopped before he can get the first down.
And here now the punter Fox as he sends this one away.
Fielded just inside the 20. And 9 yards there on the return following a punt of 47. And it'll be Dolphin football.
The Dolphins offense and Tua Tagovailoa headed back out onto the field. And he's done everything you could have asked for coming in. He's spread it around. He hasn't taken many chances. And he's potentially on his way to a big game throwing the football. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive.
And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
And confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around. So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10, once again from the 28. In motion, Hill. They fake the handoff. Now Tua. Short throw to Smith. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5.
I know the halftime's approaching, but I don't think he's going to want to take a break. That's his 5th catch.
Yeah, they've really been targeting the tight end.
The Dolphins on 3rd down. They've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. This will be 3rd and 5.
They'll bring a receiver in motion left.
Play action. Now it's Tua.
And that's caught inside the 35. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Braxton Berrios with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half.
And the Dolphins had 6 to their lead.
So on 3rd and medium, they dial up the pass, and it works to hit the end zone.
And it's really not a surprise to me. That's a throwing down in the NFL because of how tough it is to run the football. But what offenses like to do is still show run formations to make them respect it and throw out of those. In this case, they took a nice shot at the end zone and made it pay off.
Extra point up and good by Sanders, and that pushes the lead up to 11. The drive there only spanning 3 plays, and it winds up in 6 points for the Dolphins. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. Another shot now for this Lions offense. Over on the sideline, hoping to hit that reset button between possessions. Last time out, they had to punt it away. This time, hoping to finish this thing off in the end zone. Goff and this Lions offense set for a 1st and 10 at their own 27. They'll try and start this drive in the air. That's complete to the portal. And they work this well upfield across the 45. It's a gain of 22 as we tick towards the 2-minute warning.
Certainly no settling into the drive there. They came right out on the first play and attacked the middle of the field for a big gainer and a 1st down.
Two minutes remaining in this first half of football. A reminder that when halftime rolls around, Jonathan Coachman will have all the highlights and analysis of this first half of play from our studios in Orlando. They'll find Williams on the slant. And they get to him after a gain of 6 to the 46.
And I think he just wanted to get the ball to one of his playmakers to see if they can make something happen, but he ends up throwing into a crowded area. And after the catch, he isn't able to do much with it.
This 2nd and 4. From the gun, here's Goff.
A quick throw there is incomplete.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Goff throwing again. It's caught at the 10. Touchdown, Detroit.
Jamison Williams.
46 yards.
And the Lions are back within a score.
I know these wide receivers are about flash and dash and high-flying plays, but a good number of them played running back at some point in their career, and that's how they finish off a lot of their big plays, run after the catch.
And this time he finishes off the big play in the end zone. The call is to go for 1 and kick the extra point. And the lead is down to 4. So that drive, 4 plays.
And it was Jamison Williams wrapping things up with a touchdown.
Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away.
And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. The Dolphins offense and their quarterback set to take the field once more. And he's had things all his way in this first half. The numbers sensational as he'll look to add to them with another drive here.
First down Miami as they get set to start the drive.
Still more than a minute to go, so there is time if they want to mount something here.
Not only time.
A chant hit, and the ball is held.
And this is scooped up by the Lions. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line. There are two words that we hear coaches say all of the time. One starts with a B, one starts with an S, ball security.
And they preach it. They have it up in meeting rooms, right? You see the signs. They talk about it all the time. But still, when you've got defenders out there who are preaching, hey, we're going to take the ball away from you, no matter what position you play, you've got to take care of the rock.
Jamison Williams and the Lions get set for this next possession, making his presence felt early. And now, as with every potential turnover, they're going to take a second look at this just to make sure. Now the question, was the knee in fact down before this ball comes loose? And is the video convincing enough to overturn it?
A lot of factors here. Remember, you also need clear possession of football afterwards. This is a tough one to overturn.
So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble. The fumble on first down. Now here's second down.
Now Tua.
That's caught. Waddle on the left side.
And he gets this up to the 34 out of bounds there. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch. And that's going to bring up 3rd and 2.
They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here.
Going to the air, Tagovailoa.
They set up the screen. Achane has it.
The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in half number 1.
On is Jake Bailey to send this one away.
And a fair catch signaled for and taken just outside the 20-yard line.
Jamison Williams out onto the field as his guys take over on offense.
He's done his part, but so far it's been in a losing effort, so they've got to fix something.
But that doesn't mean changing anything, the way they're throwing the ball around and his catches and production. Keep doing that. They're going to have to fix some things likely on defense to try and slow down their opponents.
But so far he's north of 100 yards receiving. They'll send a receiver in motion to the left. Here's Goff. Into the hands of Patrick left side. The Lions now going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this first half. So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line. Goff now looks to throw.
Oh, short pass here taken in by Laporta.
It'll go down as a gain of 6, and it's second down.
Nice rhythm throw there on first down. He located his tight end, made it a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage.
Second down at 4.
Play action. It's Goff. He's airing it out for Williams. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
They gave it a shot with a deep pass, but it wasn't going to work there. And now there's less time for them to try and get 3 before the half. Let's see what they dial up on this next snap.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on second down. Back to throw. Goff.
That ball nearly intercepted, but he could not hang on. Oh, pick there certainly would have been nice. Instead, at least, it'll be 4th down.
Has to be a little bit of frustration there. Back-to-back incompletions. Receivers blanketed on both attempts, this time on 3rd down.
They'll break the huddle here and go for it. This is 4th down. They go ahead and snap it. Goff.
Pass taken in by his big tight end.
And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds.
Well, they picked up the first down, but I'm just going to say it. I didn't like it before the ball was snapped. I don't like it now that they picked it up. Think about field position on their own side of the 50. They don't get it. They put their defense in a bad spot, and it's just not a decision that pays off very often.
Well, it wasn't 4th and a yard. There was some meat on that bone.
There really was. Fortunate to get it in that situation, but not a call I would make very often.
So we've reached halftime in a wild first half. We'll take a minute to catch our breath as we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach.
It was Devon Achane who's had the strong first half. He wound up finding the end zone on a touchdown run to help give his guys the advantage here at the break.
All right, Coach, thanks. Yeah, both teams likely to make some changes in what's been a closely fought battle to this point. Both these offenses have been in fine form. What will the second half bring us as we are underway in quarter 3? And able to get this out to the 25.
The Lions offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3.
Well, Charles, in that first half, we saw a fair amount of offense on both sides of the football, and now the team trailing here will start with it in the third quarter.
And we both know this coach pretty darn well, don't we? Because his game planning is always on point. And now that he's getting the ball to start the second half, how about all the offense that you already referenced in the first half? He'll put that all together and come out with something really strong, I believe, to get things going here in the third quarter.
And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secured before they slide off and try and chip someone at the second level.
And this will wind up a Lions first down as the tackle made at about the 38.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They'll keep pounding here with Montgomery.
He'll take it past the 40 to the 41, 2nd down.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
From the 41, here's 2nd down and 7.
In motion goes the tight end. They'll try the air now with Goff. And his throw is incomplete.
Partner, for once in my life, I'll be succinct. In a one-possession game, every single stop like that could be a difference maker.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. Goff now looking to throw. And this is going to be incomplete.
And so many times we look at the opening drive of the third quarter as a tone setter, and many coaches do emphasize it. And that's a strong performance there defensively to force the incompletion and, more importantly, force a quick punting situation.
Here comes the Lions punter now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. This is taken at about the 14. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Dolphins' drive will start deep in their own territory with a 1st and 10.
The visitors' offense and their quarterback headed out for this next possession. And as we show you some of the highlights from earlier, he has been instrumental in getting his guys the lead as he looks to finish strong and close this one out. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive.
They have played so strongly. You look at the scoreboard, you probably, with the way they played, you would think the margin would be a lot bigger, right?
You would. And in your experience, how many times have we run into coaches where they've talked about, hey, we just want to put it in the hands of our defense and have them win the game? In this case,
yeah, not the case.
Not at all. You want to put it in the hands of your offense, but you always feel better about seeing defense because you think defense is a constant and offense kind of comes and goes. Today, this game, no, they need their offense to stay on a really hot level.
They've been hot so far. It's Hill, complete. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for third down. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
On third down, Achane. And he's going to be a yard short. A 2-yard pickup leads to 4th and 1. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
The Dolphins will send out the punter now as he's on to kick it away. Fair catch signaled for and taken just shy of the 30-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Goff and this Lions offense set for a 1st and 10.
Right at the 30. They'll bring the tight end in motion right here. Goff. It's complete to Williams. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. They may want to go back to that one. First play of the drive, good for 15 and a 1st down.
As a passer, you're always trying to find that open window to throw the ball downfield. How about this one? Right in the middle of the field, right in the heart of a defense.
The big play to start him out has him at the 45 already.
In motion goes Patrick.
Now Goff. He'll get this one to Patrick. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain.
From just across the midfield stripe, here's a 2nd down and 4.
To throw is Goff. Now that'll be caught by St. Brown.
And St. Brown going to have the Lions 1st down as the tackle made at the 42.
7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to him? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
Goff.
And that'll be off the mark, too far out in front, and it's incomplete.
And not a common sight, at least on this drive. A momentary setback, though, for this passing game that has been moving well this series. Good thing for them, though. Still 2 more downs to connect and try and pick up another 1st down.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Going up the gut, Montgomery. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. 5 yards, now it's 3rd and 5.
He hadn't had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end.
Here is 3rd and 5.
Out of the gun, Goff. And that will be incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
And that one will be no good. He never had it on line. It's well wide to the left, and that will keep this a 4-point game. Now listen, now no kick from 50-plus is a gimme, but here you're indoors in a dome. You'd think ideal conditions.
Yeah, and it's one that he would expect himself to make, not just us expecting him to make it. Over the years, my theory is very simple. The athletic ability of kickers continues to get better and better. Check their backgrounds. They were all county, all state, and other positions, not just soccer players. These guys expect themselves to be great as well.
First down Miami as they get set to start the drive. We have not seen much on offense here from either side these last few drives. We've hit a wall.
Toward the sideline, intercepted. Jack Campbell with a pick.
And he will bring it back. An interception return for a Lions touchdown.
So this whole game gets flipped on its ear right there. The interception, return for a touchdown, and this lead changes hands here in the third quarter.
And it certainly felt like this defense had a read on what was going on the offensive side of the ball and said, let's cut down our coverage a little bit. Let's be in a position to make a play on the ball. And, boy, that sure turned out well for them.
Now for the point after. And that one gives them a 3-point lead. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air.
And out a little across the 25 to the 27. The Dolphins offense and Tyreek Hill set to take over once more. And he was pretty much unguardable in that first half. You see the numbers there as they try to add to him here in this third quarter. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. Now remember, they were just out here a moment ago through the pick six, so we'll see if they can take better care of the football this go-around.
Yeah, and sometimes, partner, I think it's almost better that you just throw the pick six and you come right back out on the field. You're not over on the sidelines dwelling for it for very long. You're not hearing everyone say, oh, hey, you'll get them next time. Hey, don't worry about it. All that stuff just goes right out the window. You're right back out on the field with a chance to atone.
Second down and 6 now.
And they'll bring the big tight end across the formation left. Tua going to throw.
Well, the pressure gets there, and Tua is going to be taken down. Aleem McNeil, what an effort to get in there and drop him. And it has been a rough afternoon for him trying to get rid of the football. See, that's now 5 sacks.
How'd you like to be the offensive coordinator, the offensive line coach trying to come up with an answer for this pass rush? What blocking assignments do you change? Can guys play a little bit better? And we're seeing the end result on the scoreboard. Long day in the pocket for their quarterback.
So now after the sack, Tua and the Dolphins staring at a 3rd and long.
Throwing now is Tagovailoa. And that is incomplete.
Partner, the way this offense has marched up and down the field during this game, it's almost a surprise to see an incomplete pass on 3rd down, isn't it?
Yeah, they have had their foot on the gas all game long, but here finally stalling out. The Dolphins will send out the punter now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. A 45-yard punt, 4 there on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. Now the Lions offense, they get ready to head back out there. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline, they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Closer.
Yeah, well, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
Throw left side complete. That's Gibbs. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard. And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him to football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets lost in the traffic a little bit. But get him out in the open field into some space. That plays to his strengths the best and keeps him out of it where all the big boys are, you know.
And this is taken in at the 5. And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown.
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
56 yards.
And the Lions are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
And there, a post route started out right, caught it in the middle of the field, went into the end zone. What typically makes those successful, those deep post routes?
You need help from your complementary receivers, okay? The guy that you want to get the ball is the guy that we just saw catch it and take it into the end zone. So he needs help from the other guys who have to occupy anyone in the middle of the field. Whether it's one safety, sometimes you get 2 guys in there, either run routes at them so they have to cover them, or somehow freeze them by running underneath them and hoping to draw them towards the line of scrimmage and throw it over his head.
Extra point splits the uprights, and his guys will take a 10-point lead. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away.
And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. Miami's offense set and ready to go. See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He would love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
Completes it to the tight end, Smythe. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and it'll be second down.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there, freezing the defense just enough to bring the tight end free downfield for the completion.
So from the 37, here's a 2nd and 4.
In motion, Hill.
A run straight ahead with Achane.
And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. And they'll send the tight end in motion here. That's out to Hill, right side complete.
And he is going to have the Dolphins first down, I do believe. Yes, he's got it by about a yard there on 3rd and 3.
Going old reliable there to the slot on 3rd down.
And the slot position has become the bane of just about every defense's existence because how do you cover? Do you go with a bigger guy to try and use size? You got to try to go with a quicker guy, and sometimes you even get out quick there. Very difficult to match up with that slot receiver. That's why they keep going back to him.
And he's had the hot hand. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 4 on the first down play.
I see a shake of the head as he gets up, and you've got to imagine he's thinking, guys, you got to help me out. He's hoping his team can read his thoughts because he definitely needs some assistance.
Right back to Achane on second down. And not much room to speak of. He'll get about 3 up to the 41.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on third down. Here's Tua. And going deep for Hill.
And this one dropped in the end zone. Looked like a touchdown, but not to be, and now it's 4th down.
Oh, that's some good closing speed there defensively because that looked open for a minute. But that's great work with the ball in the air. Never gave up, converged on his man, and broke the play up.
And the punter Bailey on now as he sends this one away.
And he fields it cleanly. It'll be a 44-yard punt, 6 on the return.
And they will take over 1st and 10. The Lions offense and receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown set to go once more. And you see the numbers for him into this third quarter. They just pop off the screen. He has been open throughout.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They'll start on the ground with Montgomery. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
Not a huge carry there on first down, but not all of them will be. But still, all in all, a positive play for the offense. It's all about picking up at least a few to set up what you're going to do here on second down.
Here's 2nd and 7.
A give to Montgomery out of the gun.
And he can muster only a couple here to the 24.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
Goff now to throw.
Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
This is what defensive coaches ask of their defenders every single ball game. Get a hand on every throw in coverage. They want the deflections. They want the knockaways. Pick it yourself if you can, but at least knock it down and guarantee it's incomplete.
Here comes the Lions punter now as he's on here to punt it away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully.
Miami set to take over.
And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive.
He'll dump this off to Achane.
Just a gain of a couple there, and it'll be second down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Play action, now it's Tua. Going for the deep ball. And he knocks the ball away and it falls incomplete.
But when the running game's not working, sometimes you just got to take a few more chances down the field. That's a good effort, but it winds up incomplete.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on third down. In motion, Hill. Now a play fake. Here's Tagovailoa.
They'll let this go deep for Waddle.
And that's caught inside the 30. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown.
Jalen Waddle
68 yards.
And the Dolphins have got it back to within a score.
Well, they went play action there and set it up nicely for him. I mean, he can flat fly, and they hit him downfield.
And it doesn't take much to create that extra bit of space that a guy of his speed needs. If you go play action, all you want is just a moment where the guy's covering, take their attention somewhere else, and then he's by him. And once he's by him, there's no catching him. As they always like to say, if a receiver's even to a defensive back, that means he's leaving.
Unless that DB is Charles Davis, right?
In that case, he left me a long time ago.
Come on now.
Trust me.
Extra point up and good by Sanders. And the lead is down to a field goal. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. Well, now how about this return?
And a nifty return there all the way across the 40. Well, the home team's offense and their wideout getting set to go once more. And you take a look at the numbers, not much to complain about on that ledger. He has been terrific to this point in the proceedings. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. Their lead down to a field goal now as they start with a 1st and 10. St. Brown in motion right.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Goff. And he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. I call it no gain there on the first down play. Well, he caught it right at the line of scrimmage, and before he could even think about advancing it forward, he got hit.
Great tackling, because that's what you're taught. Don't give up yards after the catch, and most offenses make a living off of yards after catch. Those hidden yards that may not go into the score sheet, but they count big for moving the ball and stretching the field. Really nice open field tackle.
Now Goff. That's caught by Montgomery. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. First down Lions on a pickup of 13.
This offensive game plan has just been sensational. I mean, when you think about all the different ways they've gotten their receivers open so far, it's really been impressive. Scheme, design, execution.
Here's Goff.
Got St. Brown running the quick slant here.
This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for 2nd down, staying ahead of schedule. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
After what they faced during this game where they've given up a ton of yards downfield, there has to be a measure of revenge right there for the secondary. They've been shredded throughout the game and finally forced an incompletion.
So 3rd and 2, this quite possibly 4-down territory, though, if they're stopped. Again, Goff.
He's got his target. That's complete. And he is going to have a Lions first down as they get 5 there on 3rd and 2.
Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
Handoff comes to Montgomery. And not much running room. Down to the 32. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
Here's Goff. And he's going to be taken down. Pressure gets there back at the 39-yard line. Calais Campbell finding his way home for the sack.
You know, on these types of plays, we're always looking to assess blame. Okay, where did it break down? Sometimes it's just a great play.
So now following the sack, Goff and the Lions needing to come up with something here on 3rd and long.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw.
Setting up the screen, this is Gibbs.
And they're going to get him down well short of the first as he can only get this to the 30. A gain of 9, not enough, and it's 4th down.
I wonder what was going through his mind when he got the play call. He just got sacked on the previous play. He knows they're coming after him again. A little bit of guts to stand in there, take the hit, and successfully complete the screen pass. Really well done.
Bates' kick is good.
And that will add 3 more to their lead. It pushes it up to 6.
So give them 3 on that drive. You know, normally you'd say we'll take it, but the way points have been flying around, it feels like a little bit of a letdown.
Yeah, you just have to wonder, are field goals going to be enough? Because as you pointed out, the way touchdowns have been scored, does kicking a field goal actually put you at a disadvantage the rest of the way?
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. First down Miami as they get set to start the drive.
In motion, Hill. Now a first carry for their fullback. And he'll have a gain of 3 to the 33.
The tackle there by Malcolm Rodriguez.
3 quarters have come and gone. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now at Ford Field. It's Dolphin football, but they trail here as we get set for the 4th. And they'll go with the ground attack here.
And this is not going to work as planned. It'll be blown up behind the line.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
We'll see what they have drawn up here. A little bit behind the line. 12 yards needed to gain a first down.
Looking to pass. Tua.
Well, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Kirby Joseph.
And a great return here gets this one all the way down to the 26-yard line.
Well, this had trouble written all over from the start. He's got 2 extra defensive backs in the game he's got to deal with. They're in a dime set. So everywhere he's looking, he's seeing a different color jersey. And sure enough, this one winds up being intercepted.
Amon-Ra St. Brown and the rest of the Detroit Lions getting set for another series here.
And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this, but it's usually not by himself, is it?
Right.
Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
After the interception, here's Goff.
That pass caught. It's Williams.
And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. 23 yards, the final tally.
Well, it may seem a little unorthodox to some people. Got the lead, fourth quarter, yet he's still firing away. I think he believes that's the best way to go ahead and win the game.
Yeah, a lot of coaches say, let's just run the football, be conservative. He's sticking to his game plan.
No, that is his game, and that's what they're going to ride.
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Jared Goff. A 3-yard touchdown run.
And the Lions get an important score there to extend their lead here in this fourth quarter. We talk so often about how hard it is to win in the NFL when you turn the ball over. And here a late turnover leads to a fourth quarter touchdown and a 2-score lead.
And what's more important is being able to take advantage when a turnover presents itself. You've got to come up with points to make the other guy pay. They're able to do so here, and they've got a pretty good chance now of winning this football game.
Goff and that Lions offense staying on the field. They'll try for 2.
And this one incomplete. So they went for the 2. They don't get it.
I don't know about you, but I can't wait for a few years of 2-point tries and see what the data tells us, because a lot of teams want to throw the ball in this situation, this time unsuccessfully. I just wonder if maybe running the ball might be the way to go.
With it moved up from the 3 to the 2, you would think maybe a few more attempts at running.
I think stats over time may bear out that running the ball will at least be the equal of throwing it in that situation.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. The visitors' offense and their quarterback ready to go once more. And it's been a struggle for him all afternoon. This defense has really done a nice job of making him earn everything he gets, and it's prevented him from getting into any kind of rhythm here today. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And you figure after giving up that last touchdown, they trail by 2 scores here in the fourth quarter. This drive becomes very critical.
It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets them to 2nd and 4.
And a lot of times these plays, they either go for nothing or they go for big yardage. And here, they got to the outside, turned it upfield, and ended up getting a nice little gain out of it.
From the 32-yard line now, here's 2nd and 4. On play action, here's Tua. And the pressure gets there, and Tua is going to be taken down.
It'll go as a loss of about 6, and now it brings up 3rd.
Remember, throughout my career here in defensive coaches always say, guys, you got to earn the right to rush the passer. Well, they put themselves in a great spot with this big lead, and they know they've got to throw the ball.
These pass rushers have to be salivating. It is pin your ears back time indeed.
So now after the sack, Tua and the Dolphins staring at a 3rd and long. Off of play action, Tagovailoa. And he'll complete this one to Berrios. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. It'll be a loss of 2 on the play, and that's going to bring up a 4th down. Did they maybe play that too safely on 3rd down? I know you don't want to just throw a ball blindly downfield, but that didn't help them a whole lot.
I think they probably said if it's open, take the shot. If not, get something safe because we do have 4th down to try and pick it up.
And on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. And the fair catch is made at about the 27-yard line.
The Lions offense and Jared Goff set to take over once more. And this defense might be about ready to wave the white flag. Nothing they have tried to throw at him has been that successful. He just processes things so quickly and makes a right read seemingly every time. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Well, there are two scores on the plus side. Still time here in this fourth quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
And what a tough spot for this defense because they know it's coming, but they're just powerless to stop it. What a great run there to start the drive. And you can bet there'll be more where that came from as they try to ice this game away.
In motion left goes a tight end. Here's Goff. He'll leave it for Montgomery, complete. Able to corral him right at the midfield stripe following that sparkling display of footwork we saw. So they'll get 8 out of that completion, and that'll bring up a second down in just a couple.
And a nice gain and a broken tackle along the way, and really we shouldn't be surprised, should we? That's what runners do, especially the best ones. They break tackles and gain extra yardage.
From the 50, it's Goff.
Oh, short pass here taken in by Laporta.
And he's out of bounds as he gets this down to the 45. 7 catches for him now, and this last one, a first down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful you're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive...
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And this is taking it right down Broadway. Down to the 10. And this is brought all the way back. A fumble recovery and taken to the house for a Miami touchdown. This defense, Charles, they needed some type of a spark to help get them back in this game. I think they just got their spark.
No doubt about it. And you know, that's all they discussed. How can we get ourselves moving again? How can we get our team going? This definitely qualifies.
Sanders now to add the extra point. And this is back to a 5-point game. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there. Grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score.
And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. Well, this offense and their wideout headed back onto the field. And he's looking to finish strong. He has been the star of the show as they have just had absolutely no answers for him defensively.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive.
Their defense got the stop, forced the punt, and now you really start to monitor the clock as they nurse this slim lead.
Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
Good push from the offensive line, and they've done well so far to build this lead. Now they've got to get things to the finish line, and that's a solid pickup there to begin the drive.
2nd and 5.
They'll bring a tight end in motion left.
Back to Montgomery on 2nd down.
And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now 3rd down coming up.
Now, obviously, that's some good work there defensively, being able to stop them and bringing up a key 3rd down. But if you're on the offensive side of the ball, there's an opportunity, because I know what defensive guys are thinking right now. Just stop them, get to the ball. That means they might not be sound defensively. There could be some opportunities.
And you said key 3rd down. Highlight that word. Put it in bold. Here we go. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. 5 yards on the screen, but that'll take us to 4th down. I hate to surrender the football when you're nursing a slim lead, but they're going to have to punt it away. Trust that defense.
It's the right play at this stage of the game as well. You don't need to press it here because you do have that little bit of a cushion, and you count on your D to make it stand up.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. We'll call that a 47-yard punt, a return of just 3. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over.
Their defense accomplished step 1 of the mission. They forced the punt. Now they'll look to erase that deficit and take a 4th quarter lead. And the Dolphins now with a 1st and 10
at their own 17-yard line. Going to the air, Tagovailoa. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. The sack recorded. It's a loss of 5, and now it's 2nd down.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
Got to assume this defense will be charging again here. It's 2nd and 15. Here's Tagovailoa to throw. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds. It'll be a gain of 5. And that brings up 3rd and a full 10 yards. He's been a busy man here in this one, and they're showing off some nice footwork to stay in bounds.
And with those types of catches and the volume that we've seen in this game, wouldn't you keep him busy as well?
I would.
Of course. You got to keep throwing it to him. He keeps making plays.
He's got his running back out of the backfield. Now inside the 25.
And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown.
Devon Achane.
He scored on the ground and through the air.
And the Dolphins use the defensive breakdown to take the lead away here in the 4th.
Well, he's used to running it that distance. Here he had to catch it, too, before making the run. Heck of a play for the score.
There's not many things better for an offense than a back who's a complete guy who can run it and catch it. And we just saw him complete a big-time play for a touchdown.
So now a big play here as the Dolphins will go for the 2.
The 2 are going to try and throw for it.
And no, incomplete. They can't convert. So they tried to bump the lead up to a field goal. Instead, it stays at 1 here in the 4th. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders.
And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line.
And Detroit getting set to go now.
And they will be looking to answer the touchdown their defense just surrendered. Still a good chunk of time remaining here in the 4th quarter and a chance to regain the lead in a tight one. Goff and this Lions offense set for a 1st and 10.
Just shy of the 30. They'll send the big tight end in motion right. A shotgun snap for Goff.
Throw over the middle. He finds Williams.
So the completion good for 7 there. And it's 2nd down. Out of the gun, Goff.
That's complete to the Porta.
8th catch for him now. He's been a big factor. And it's a 1st down.
It certainly feels like there are more stars at the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hands, route running, speed, and some toughness to go across the middle, you put it all together, you got a heck of a tight end candidate.
And he'll get it down to the 47 here. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll leave him with a second and just a few inches left.
Charles, he's now over 400 yards passing in this one. It feels like he has a zillion completions. Just a very memorable effort from a guy that we thought could be in line for a big game, and he has exceeded our expectations.
That he has, and I'm not really surprised at all because when you look at this offensive unit, they are loaded across the board. And, of course, the guy throwing them, he's a big-time player himself. They brought it from start to finish and really helped get the better of the opposing secondary.
These two have hooked up 9 times now this afternoon as they pick up the first. The tight end in motion right. Now a play fake, and it's Goff. Escapes the sack. And a big loss here as he's taken down.
Multiple defenders getting to him there for a huge loss.
And this dominant defensive performance continued on that play. This poor quarterback, he's not received the protection he needs and has had to pick himself up off the turf far too often.
Now this one from about 2 counties over after the sack. They come up on a second and very long. Goff now to throw.
That's to the tight end, Laporta.
And he's going to be out of bounds right at midfield.
With that pass CD, he's now over 400 yards in the game. And even in a pass-first league, that is still a tough benchmark to hit.
And all week leading up to this one, all we read, heard about was the confidence he had that he could put up big numbers. Kudos to him for coming out here with that belief in himself and for making it happen.
The throw here right sideline falls incomplete.
Not only did he have a chance to scan the field there, it felt like he had a chance to scan it twice. The protection was that good. Unfortunately for him, the coverage downfield, equally good.
Here comes the Lions punter now. They'll boot it away from about his 35. Fair catch called for and collected right at the 10-yard line. 37 yards on the punt with no return. And the offense will come back out deep in their own territory.
Tagovailoa and the Dolphins come up 1st and 10.
At their own 11. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Throw left side, taken in by Hill. And he's able to get this one all the way past the 30. That good for 21 yards on the catch and run.
Well, how about this aggressive approach? Got the lead, 4th quarter, continuing to throw the football. Are you thinking about Super Bowl 51? Atlanta had the lead against New England, and they ended up giving it up?
I was going to say don't say it, but you did say it.
I did, didn't I?
Yeah, anybody watching Atlanta, our apologies. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. They'll bring a receiver in motion right. Tagovailoa working out of the gun.
This will be caught. It's Waddle.
And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45.
15 more yards there, and quickly another 1st down.
Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
And the pressure gets there, and Tua is going to be taken down.
The sack recorded. It's a loss of 5, and now it's second down.
Well, this has to count as a great team effort today, but this man, he's been at the center of all of it. Really special day for any defense to have this many sacks in a game, even more so for this player. One of the best individual efforts of the season.
Coming up now on a 2nd and 15 following that sack. Tua going to throw.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. From the gun, it's Tua. And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down.
Aiden Hutchinson. Who else? He's in there for his 4th sack of the afternoon.
Well, this has turned into an absolute week to forget for this quarterback. Multiple sacks. Pair that with multiple turnovers. As far as he's concerned, if he ever sees this defense again, it'll be way too soon.
The Dolphins will send out the punter now, as he'll come on to kick this one away. This is fielded at the 27. Call it an even 40-yard punt. 7, though, on the return. And the Lions will take over.
Yeah, Detroit back in possession of the football. Over on the sideline, hoping to hit that reset button between possessions. Last time out, they had to punt it away. This time hoping to finish this thing off in the end zone. Goff and this Lions offense set for a 1st and 10.
At the 34. They'll bring the tight end in motion right. They'll fake the give. Now Goff. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
Jordan Brooks able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon. This defense, they just continue to feast. 5 sacks now as a unit. It's been quite an afternoon getting to the quarterback.
And we're seeing it come from a variety of places as well. Sometimes just the guys up front and getting to them. Other times you add extra guys rushing the quarterback, twists and stunts. It's been a variety, and they've had no way of blocking them.
From the gun, here's Goff. Now that'll be caught by St. Brown. A very good move, but for a relatively modest gain out near the 32. And that's good for a gain of 6. And they'll be facing a 3rd and 12.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
From the gun on 3rd down, Goff. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And this is picked up by the Dolphins. And he will bring it back to about the 11-yard line.
Well, that's the down and distance coaches always talk about trying to avoid, isn't it? I mean, that's 3rd and long. And you just know they're pinning their ears back and coming after him, sometimes even with extra pressure.
And he knew that. I mean, he knew they were coming. He just fumbled it.
Yeah, he knew it. The offensive line knew it. Everyone did, yet the pressure was still there, and he ended up coughing it up.
Miami's offense set and ready to go. They'll be hoping to work a little clock and try to add on to this slim 4th quarter lead. But whatever happens on this drive, certainly a huge fumble recovery by their defense at this juncture. Now a 1st and 10 at the 11. A give, running right, Achane.
And he'll take this one inside the 10, down to the 8. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
Fourth quarter, 2 minutes on the clock in a tight one-point game.
So the Dolphins have it as we welcome you back in. Have to imagine this will be on the ground as well as they come up 2nd and 7.
He's going to get it again. Just looking to get forward and protect the ball.
And now we'll see a timeout used on defense as they stop it right out of the break with 1:57 to go in the ball game. Now this is a big 3rd down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop him here.
Tagovailoa looking to throw it.
Eluding the pressure right. And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown.
Tua Tagovailoa.
A 6-yard touchdown run.
And the Dolphins are able to capitalize on the forced fumble by turning it into 6 points.
If you're going to play quarterback in the NFL, you've got to have great vision, and you've got to remain calm when things break down in the pocket. Both of those traits are on display there. He surveys the situation, sees the middle of the field open, so he's just going to step up and take it himself. Very well done there.
Still an important piece of business to take care of, the extra point. And with that, the lead is up to 8. Scoring summary, 3-play drive.
And it was Tua Tagovailoa who called his own number and finished it off with a touchdown run. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. A solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32. So here's Goff and the Lions.
Down by 8, a little under 1:50 remaining. They've surrendered a double-digit lead but can rescue themselves late as they come up on 1st down.
Goff now to throw. Able to complete it to Montgomery.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. This is where, of course, it's good to have a veteran quarterback under center.
You would just be able to put on one of those blood pressure clips, and nothing would be different for him. He's done it many times before, expects to get it accomplished again.
Plenty of time and 2 timeouts still at their disposal. 1st and 10 here.
Finding his big receiver, Patrick, over the middle. And he's brought down.
Nice, well-coached, a team that understands what's going on. They still have time to work the middle of the field as they just did there.
This is 1st and 10. Now Goff.
That'll be caught. It's St. Brown. The Lions now going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in the 4th.
Here's 1st down.
Goff. His throw incomplete.
Whew, that's certainly not the worst thing. It stops the clock and lets your offense catch its breath and lets us exhale a little bit. Now I expect them to call a couple plays in the huddle so they're ready if a tackle happens in bounds.
Another try, 2nd and 10 now.
Now it's Goff. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
Well, they know anything less than a touchdown here at this late stage is going to be no good. They were going for it all right there, but it was just too hard to adjust to that one in the air, and it winds up incomplete.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. He'll look to throw. And this is going to be incomplete.
With that incompletion, reality is staring them right in the face. This entire game is down to the next snap.
No choice but to go. Here's 4th down now.
They go ahead and snap it. Goff. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Dolphins' defense is able to hold. Well, their first 4th down attempt earlier was successful. This one backfires for a turnover on downs.
I like their aggressiveness. I like what they're doing. They got it the first time they went for it. Why not a second time? I don't think they'll be daunted from attempting it again. If you're on the defensive side of the ball, though, any 4th down stop is a big momentum play.
Victory very likely now for the Dolphins as they take a knee here. And the Lions quickly now going to use the last of their timeouts as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this 4th quarter.
Down to a knee goes Tua, and that should just about do it.
Yeah, it's fun to kneel down in front of your home crowd, but when you go on the road, that band of brothers attitude, right, just us against the world, and get it done, how happy are they?
I remember a coach at a previous stop telling me, you get a win on the road, doesn't matter the opponent, get out of there like you stole something, and they did in this one. So a victory here for the Miami Dolphins. And it took a big 4th quarter to do it, but they were able to get the job done, and that's the bottom line.
No doubt about it. And let's face it, they had to be more than nervous in the 4th quarter. But a lot of that was their own doing. I think you observed during the game, their energy level just didn't seem to be there. But in the 4th quarter, somehow they dug deep and found that extra bit, right, that reserve tank. They hauled it out. Offense scored some points, defense held them, and lo and behold, they walk away with a win. Maybe expend a little more energy than they expected to, but they'll take it.
So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.